All right, so how do we use Wevideo? First of all, open up a new tab, type in the word Wevideo, and when you do, you should get to this page here, and you see the little Wevideo logo. And where it says sign up, don't sign up. Right above it in tiny words, it's kind of annoying, it says Wevideo sign in. And if you click that, don't type in your email here or your password here because you're already signed into your Google because your Gmail is open, right kids? Say right, because your Gmail should always be open in one of your tabs here like mine is, because that unlocks everything else that you want to use. So all we have to do is click this Google button right here, and it might ask me to verify my account or ask me a couple questions. But before long, Shazam, here I am at Wevideo on the opening or home page. Now, mine's going to look a little different than yours because I use Wevideo all the time. If you've never used it before, you may have nothing here. If you've used it a lot in the past, you might have old stuff, maybe even stuff from Mosier School. But right now, we want to do, before anything else, up in this top right corner, and it might be a little tricky for you to see, there should be a little avatar, a little picture of you. Maybe it's just a letter, one of your initials. But if you click on that, and you see this thing here called Account Settings, and click on that, mine already says invite code. You should have a box there that says apply code. And the code is actually right there on the web page. You can copy it and paste it in there. It's E5, the letter O, not the number 0, E5O6667634, the letters B and T. And if you type that in there or copy it from the web page and paste it in there and then hit apply code, and you might have to click one or two other things, it's going to allow you to use the upgraded version that Rocky Hill pays for. So you can use all these cool features like green screen, and you have extra storage and memory and such. So you want to make sure you get the invite code taken care of. And then when you come back to Wevideo's homepage here, you can go to create, and in the corner here, drop down, create a video. And I'd like to see you in this page before we move on to the next step. So right now, you want to add media. You've taken photos and you've taken video with your Pocket 3 video camera, and now you need to get that video out of there and into Wevideo. Now the problem is that your video is living on this micro SD card inside the Pocket 3, okay? Now if you've got fingernails and you push on it, it springs out kind of like that, so you can then grab it. If you have trouble taking it out, or you're not sure how to do it, ask your teacher, please. Remember, this camera is probably a $600 camera, and this is like a $50 micro SD card. It's a special fancy one. By the way, when you put it in, make sure it's facing the front of the camera when you slide it in. Otherwise, if you put it in backwards, it might get stuck in there. And again, it's kind of tricky. If you've got longer fingernails than mine, it's probably easier. Sometimes I'll use a dull pencil or something to get it in there. But again, there I give it a little push, and it pops out, and I can pull this guy out. And then I've got a thing called a card reader. Now your card reader might look a little different than mine, but this one looks like this. It's got the USB cable on the end, right? And then in the front here, I'm going to top up writing on the card, facing the writing of the USB port there. So there it is, slides right in there. And then I'm gonna plug this guy in the side of my computer over here. There's a open USB port. Hopefully you can see that. You see where I plugged it in over here, right? Now I'm ready to add media, which is right here. So I'm gonna click on that, click on the upload button, browse to select, and I'm gonna go find that SD card. Now, my computer knows I get things out of there all the time, so it kind of predicted I'd want to go there. If you go under this PC, it should show up as something called ProGrade, because that is the name of the card here. And then if you double click on that, DCIM is digital camera images, and then double click on the folder there. And there's all sorts of files here and folders. Eventually, I'd like you to store all your work in the period folder. And you can see students left behind and did not organize all their files, which is kind of a drag and upsetting to me. But look, down here at the bottom, here's somebody took this video, and here's somebody that took this still picture. Now, as you can tell, there's a lot of files here, and it gets a little confusing. Figure that yours are the last few that were recorded, because they kind of do them in order. And if in the title of the file, which is a bunch of random numbers, DJI 200, 105, blah, 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 blah. But it says .mp4 at the end. That tells me it's a video file. Also, this orange cone here is a dead giveaway. So if I click on that and I click open, it's going to start uploading it here to my Wevideo project. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bar graph going on here that shows me that it's processing and copying it over. A video is a much larger file than just a simple photograph, so it's going to take you a while before you'll actually see it here and be able to use it. I'm going to go back to Add Media, back to Upload, back to Browse, and come back down here, and I'll grab some of these, not MP4s, but JPEGs. .jpg means it's a photo. And if I click on open, that should upload a whole lot quicker than, yeah, see, it just took seconds. So I should be able to go back and upload. Remember, you should have something like 4 photographs and only 1 clip of video. So if I do this, my photos come in almost immediately. Okay, there's a little bit of a delay, and meanwhile my video is still processing. Oh no, it looks like it finally went ahead and went ahead. Another thing I notice is that videos have a little timestamp up in the corner here. This says 1 minute and 6 seconds that somebody took a video tour of room 200. There's no time on a photograph because no time elapses. It's a still image. So once I have these 4 photographs that you took around the room, and you're about 1 minute, give or take, of video from around the classroom, I can start creating my video. Oh, by the way, up here, we should make sure that you label it. Mr. Pat's Room 200 Tour, which is what we're going to call this thing. Obviously, you would put your first and last name on there and label it. If it just says my project, no bueno, and not going to like that very much. All right, one last thing before we go here is if you just grab this guy and you put your cursor over it and click and pull, bring it down here onto this line that says Video 1, okay, down here in this corner, all right? And then you would grab your JPEG images and drag them down, and you would have 4 pictures, of course. But now you've got your video running here, and you've got, yep, all of this business here. And then when we get to the end, you can see there's a still picture and there's a still picture. So when you finish activity 2, I'd love it if down here on what we call your timeline, because there's this timeline here that tells you how long your video runs, you would have the video and all 4 of your photographs there. All right? So I think that the rest of your instructions begin in the videos on activity 3. So show your teacher that you were able to successfully log into Wevideo, use the upgrade code, and import media, and then they'll let you go on to activity 3, where you start to make this video tour of room 200 and kind of explain to people what Tech Ed is about here. All right, good luck.